Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be interviewing Huddy. Huddy, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name's Huddy. I am a 20-year-old from New South Wales, Australia. I've been in the online game for about a year and a half roughly. Been able to make the most I've ever made in a week was like 14K. And yeah, come from
That's
a construction
crazy.
background.
How did you even get there? I mean, you worked in construction before.
hmm Yeah. So backstory for me, I dropped out of school at 16 years old. For me, like I always knew that uni wasn't for me, but I kind of jumped into a trade because it's pretty typical. Where I grew up in a very small country town. Like you'd either work on a farm or work in construction. So I ended up just doing that. But I really didn't want to do that either. I just didn't know what my options were. I kind of had a lack of opportunity. But I did that for about 3 years, nearly 4 years. So I wasn't far off getting qualified, but the whole time, like, just wasn't for me. Like, I was only doing it because I didn't know what else to do. And I've always had bigger goals like traveling and giving back to my mom and just having a level of freedom, which I just knew I wouldn't be able to get working construction. So yeah, that's why I like looked into the online stuff in the first place.
That's so like scary to be so close to getting your apprenticeship and then like literally quitting. Like what was going through your head? Obviously, you must have really not liked it to like take
Yeah.
that big of a risk.
Yeah, like I think for me, I was just coping. Like I was in the job just coping, just like, oh, I'll get quali like everyone says to go get qualified so you have that under your belt just in case things go wrong. But in my mind, I had come to realize like even if I did get qualified, I wouldn't even want to work as a fully qualified carpenter anyway. So, um, and I've always believed as well, like having a plan A, having a plan B just distracts you from plan A. So me getting qualified, spending another year was just a waste of time. Um,
Yeah, it was just like delaying your success. It's just like doing it just because, but there was really no point in it. You didn't even see yourself to go going like going down that career path anyways.
yeah, yeah,
That's crazy taking that risk. I mean, what happened after that? So you quit your job and then did you just go all in on trying to make money online or like what
yeah.
was the transition like?
Yeah, okay. So I quit just like out of the blue and I came home from work and I was living with my mum at the time. I was only 18 years old and mum was pissed. Like I've got an Asian mum, so she wanted me to go to uni to start off with,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to go to uni obviously. So she wanted me to obviously like work some sort of career-based job, like actually have a career. But because I quit my apprenticeship and I was no longer working towards a career, she was like, I'm going to kick you out so you don't just become a bum and do nothing, or I'm going to send you to the military. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I had no emotion with the online stuff. I hadn't really tried anything. I had to move out of home. I moved to the closest city which was like 3, 4 hours away. Got set up, got my own place, and then I spent like the entirety of 2024 just trying different business models, different things. Tried things like drop shipping, SMMA, crypto, you name it, I've probably tried it. But I spent a good like 8 months getting pretty much nowhere.
That's crazy. You would have had to been so like resilient to like even just going to your mom and be like, I so get that. I have like immigrant parents too, like already not going to uni, and then her being like, my son doesn't even want to do his apprenticeship because to them like trades and stuff is sort of like the trenches. It's like your kid's last hope, and then not wanting to do that. She would have been so scared, like no. But then even like then moving out, that is good though. Like moving out, and then you had to like sort of fend for yourself and like make it work for you. That is
Mm.
so scary though. What was it like through that 8 months of obviously going through trial and error? I feel like it would have been so hard to like stay consistent even when you're not making success?
It was tough. Like, I'll be honest, it wasn't the whole 8 months that I was trying. I was very like on and off. Like you said, it's hard to be consistent, and that's what it was like for me because I had a bit of money saved and I put some money into like starting these different businesses and I again, yeah, didn't really go very far with any of them. And I was spending all this money and this time getting nowhere. I ended up having to pick up a job at one stage, which was I was just working at Aldi. I was stacking shelves. It was like the quickest job I could pick up. And I had to do that for a while. I was also living with some friends. They were like my roommates. which made it really difficult as well because they didn't have the same mindset. They just want to go out, party, and smoke and do all those things. So that held me back quite a bit as well. Um, but yeah, I like basically had to go back to a job, saved a bunch of money, invested that money to something else that didn't work out. And then I was making a little bit of money and then I quit my job and then that didn't work out. And then I had to go back to a construction job. And then, yeah, then I was like, I gotta save some money again. And then I ended up getting into ABC. But yeah, it was a tough time. I think the biggest thing that kept me going though was just plan A. Like I only had one plan and it
Hmm.
was to make something work. And the way that I saw it was like unless I gave up on it, there was no way it wasn't gonna work out. Like I realized like the 8 months, that's just a learning experience, just trying to figure what I wanted to do. But yeah, I ended up finding something out.
That's such a good mindset to have, especially like I so hear what you're saying about like obviously you had roommates and stuff, and then there's one night you're fully locked in your room, and then another night where it's like your friends want to go out, and you're like
Yeah.
sort of like frustrated and resenting work anyways, and you go out, and then you're sort of in and out, but you still that's really cool. You still like you had a vision, and you knew you still wanted to go after it, and so
Yeah.
even though the other things didn't work, it's like you kept looking for what did work. So tell
Yeah.
me about what happened once you got into ABC and started looking into that.
Yeah. So for me, when I got into ABC, I won't say that I had absolutely zero experience or zero idea with what I was doing because I had built up all that experience from trying all these different things. So when I got into ABC, it was very quick in terms of finding success because I had that experience. I think because I had that level of commitment, I was used to committing a lot to something. And I think one of the biggest things that held me back from finding success before joining ABC was I kind of hit a wall of education and knowledge. I didn't know what to do next. I was ready to commit to trying my hardest, but I didn't know what to try harder in. So
Yeah.
once I got in ABC and I had the coaching and the guidance and I had like I guess a blueprint of exactly what I needed to do, it was just a matter of implementation. So in my first month, I made my first 10K a month. I also scaled my social media to like 30K followers in 1 month. I had one video in a single day get me like 15K followers, and then it pretty much just skyrocketed from there.
That is so sick. See, that's so true. You had the drive from the beginning. You always had that drive. And that's why even before ABC, when you were trying all the other business models, like you kept researching more into it and looking into it. And it's like you always had the drive. The only thing, yeah, blocking you was obviously people don't share everything online and you sort of
Yeah,
like everyone's showing different things and you're not getting the real actual like sauce, like the actual
yeah,
information.
yeah.
That's so cool. Once you had access to all the education, there was like nothing stopping you, hey? It was just like, oh.
Pretty much. It was just do the things, like do exactly what I was told to do, and it just worked.
That's so sick. Well, how was it like after obviously starting to make like success? Like, how was it telling your mom and like obviously earning your freedoms and not having to stress about even going back to work? It's like you like made it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. My first 3 months was really good. Like it was just like streamlined. Like I just kept making more money. And then I hit a bit of a wall where things got tough. Even with my mum, when I was making some pretty decent money, like 10K a month, 15K a month, mum wasn't really like sold on it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So when I was even making it work, I had my family, still my friends, still a lot of people around me be like, nah, this is not worth it. It's not going to work out. So I still had the haters in
Yeah.
my ear. I still had the noise. So it was actually still pretty tough, even my like first like few months of finding success. But it was really just character building from there. And then I actually went through a couple months where things weren't the greatest. And I think that's also what I've learned is that's the nature of business. Like you're going to have your good seasons, your bad seasons. But it was really just a room for me to grow. And then I just really scaled my income from there to making, going from 5-figure months to 5-figure weeks. And yeah, it was
See,
pretty,
that really goes to show that it's your mindset that really kept you going. Because obviously at the
yeah,
start you didn't see success, but then you kept going. And then once you did see success, a lot of people like as soon as they start seeing themselves lose money again, it's like they like hit this wall where they just never do it again or like
yeah,
so it's so good you continued and that is so true. It is definitely the art of business. I mean, that's so good, like where you've been able to scale yourself to. I mean, especially coming from the trades and stuff. But Was there anything that was holding you back in the past? I mean, you said you were hating your job for so long, you know?
I think 100% there were so many things. I mean, I think the biggest thing was just the fear of it not working out was scary, especially even that like 8 month period where I was just trying stuff, putting money into stuff, getting little to no results or none at all. It was scary to think like, oh shit, like this might not work out. But I think the biggest thing that kept me going was as much as I had this vision of the life I did want to live, I was more so thinking about the life I would live if I had done nothing and I quit. And like for me, like I really didn't want to keep working construction. I really didn't want to like live like a typical average person life. And I just couldn't see myself doing it any longer. So the thought of me going back was just like it seemed like help to me. And I just knew I'd end up there if I did nothing.
It's very true. It must have been like so bad as well, especially like you obviously don't want to make your mom and stuff feel like you failed, like already not going to uni. It's like you want to make her proud, and you know, even working the trades, it's never going to be able to, make you the amount of money you want to be making to give back to your mom and obviously make her proud of you too. I mean, for you now, what are you actually trying to do? You've already started making good money. What's next for you?
Yeah. So right now I've set a pretty big goal for myself to pay off my mom's mortgage, which is like over 200 grand. So that's something that I've always had in mind of wanting to do ever since I was like a small child. I grew up in a only child household and yeah, no dad either. So I've always wanted to take care of mum, especially, taking these massive risks. And like you were sort of mentioning earlier, it's like mum wanted me to go to uni. I didn't go to uni, wanted me to do an apprenticeship, didn't do that either. I felt bad because she always like made really big sacrifices to give me the best opportunity that she could provide, and I wasn't using that. So big thing for me is giving back to her, paying her for mortgage, eventually retiring her. Right now, I'm about to go travel. I'm going to Vietnam in like 3 days or something, and then gonna go travel for a bit, get set up in Dubai, and yeah, just I don't know, live the life that I've always wanted to live.
That's so cool. And it's even crazier because like the route you were going down, doing that apprenticeship and stuff, that would have never ever allowed you to even go traveling comfortably and
Yeah,
let alone like paying off your mom's mortgage. And it's crazy to think about like imagine if you continued that apprenticeship and finished it, you would have probably just been comfortable at that point and just continued working. And it's crazy like the
100%.
butterfly effect. Like you didn't want to like imagine if you just didn't make that one scary decision to just go all in on yourself and reach like go after your dreams and stuff, you would have still been working as a tradie. That's insane. For all the other people that you feel are also in your situation, they're going down a career path they don't feel is aligned with them and is never going to get them to the goals they have, what piece of advice would you give them?
Yeah, 100%. I think, well, if they've already determined that, I would just first off make sure your vision is really clear. Like, yeah, it's one thing to hate your job, but paint a picture of like where you want to be, the things you want to do, the person you want to become, and ask yourself, the situation I'm in right now, will that allow me to get to those goals? If not, then you got to do something about that. And if that's potentially the online space, which is what it was for me, always wanted to make more money, always wanted to have freedom and hit these bigger goals, I think you need to go ahead with that. I think you just need to take action. I think a lot of people they procrastinate their goals and procrastinate the thing that they really want to do for way too long. And I think people forget that time is the most valuable thing that you have. So there's no point in wasting it. There's not ever going to be a perfect time to go chase it. So you might as well chase it now because it's only going to get more difficult the longer you put it off. So determine what you want first in life and then realize, like, for me, I knew that even if I was a qualified tradesman, wouldn't get anywhere in life, anywhere where I wanted to be. I think these days, even in Australia, it's hard to afford a home, yet alone do anything else. So I think determine what you want. Once you've done that, how you're going to get there, and then it's just a matter of committing.
Wow, that was so beautifully said. I was like moved. I was like listening to you and I was like, yeah. Oh, well,
Like,
thank you so much, Hadi, for hopping on. It's been lovely having you, and thank you so
cool.
much for sharing your story as well.
All good. Thanks for having me on.